If you wanted to know how to animate a button, change colors depending on its state, and do all sorts of crazy animated interactables, well, this video is for you. This is the video for UI Selectables. And let's get started. So there are three things that make a UI. The components, and this is what we're going to talk about today. These are your UI selectables. The things that a user can interact with, the buttons, the toggles, the sliders, the scroll bars, input fields, and so on. The containers, these are your UI containers, right? So your views, your pop-ups, your notifications, some things, things that have show and hide, basically. And the content, this is anything else. These are your images, your static text or animated text that is non-interactable, special effects, and so on. Before we dive into this subject, I would like to show you what's the relationship between the native selectable class and the UI selectable that comes inside Doozy UI. I'm going to tell you a secret, is inheritance. They're basically, the UI selectable is a wrapper for the selectable class. And to that end, I drew something for you. And let me show you. Let's switch. Oh, perfect. This is it. So the selectable is the base class for all native Unity components. If it's a button, a toggle, a slider, you get it. It's a inherited. It's inheritance. They are derived from selectable, and this is the map that I drew for you. So if we're talking about a button, well, it's a selectable that has a on-click Unity event, and pretty much that's it. If it's a toggle, it will have a on-off setting, is on true and is on false. And of course, it will also have a on value changed. And the same goes for all of these. These components are the ones that you can see inside Unity here. So this is your button, your toggle. This is the button with a text mesh pro inside instead of a text component. Slider, scroll bar, drop down input field, and their equivalents with text mesh pro text inside. And yeah, these are the ones that we're talking here. What did Doozy UI do? Well, we derived from the selectable class and created a UI selectable and added different events for the 5 states. For the normal state, for the highlighted state, so when the pointer is over the button or your interactable, pressed state, selected state, and finally disabled state. And then we created these UI button, UI toggle, UI slider, UI scroll bar. For now, these are the components that you can play with today at this time, but we will be adding more and some of them that are not here. We have a plan for that. So if you understand this particular relationship, you will understand that that is why they all work very well together, because in the end, they're all selectable. And every Doozy UI component, so the UI button, the UI toggle, the UI slider, is a UI selectable. This is very important to remember because we tied effects and animation and different types of things to this particular class. And we did that to separate the transitions. And let me stop talking about that and show you what I'm referring to. So in order to start this presentation, I'm going to do a quick comparison between the native Unity button. I think I have one opened here. Yes, which is a selectable. And again, this is our UI selectable, which in turn is again a selectable with different things added. So let's create a native Unity button. And here I'm going to add one with the text mesh pro text. Let's move it up a bit. So, right. And let's also add a button from Doozy. I'm going to select a simple button, a normal one. Yeah, let's add it here. And let's zoom in a bit. Can you see? Of course you can. All right, so a button inside Unity, the native component, has an interactable toggle. Actually, that's from the selectable class, but so every single component will have an interactable toggle, and so does our button. This is it, is the same one, right? Then it has a transition. We remove this. You can have a basically for us it's a non-transition, but you can have a color tint, sprite swap, or animation. These are a bit limited from our point of view, so that's why we separated everything from here, and you will see very soon why we did that. It has a navigation, and these lines show the navigation. As you can see, they are valid. This is how they look. Let's hide it. And that's pretty much it. And of course, on click, you have a callback, a Unity event when this button is clicked. This is the native button. Now, Doozy UI adds a few more things. So first of all, you have an option to add a category and a name in order to identify the button. You don't have to do that. It has Unity events for each state: normal, highlighted, pressed, selected, and disabled. And of course, the navigation is the same thing as this one, because they work together. And you can set explicit, automatic, and so on. So that's pretty much it. But like I said, the native button has this transition. You can animate a few things just to have it look nicer. In Doozy UI, we separated that. So we added a UI animator. This basically animates your button. You can change the position, the scale, the rotation, and its transparency, its alpha value. And you can also change the colors depending on the state: highlighted, pressed, selected. And let me show you. Let's select a highlighted state. Let's change the image color to, I don't know, this green. So this will be Unity, and we will be a simple blue. Let's just copy this, and let's go with a bluish color. All right, so you have your native and the Doozy UI component. For the text, it's Text Mesh Pro, so it will be perfect for each of these. And what else? Well, when it's highlighted, I would like it to have, let's select a different, this should be, let's see if this is visible. Yeah, I'm talking a lot of crazy things right now. So let's check it out. Yeah, it's not really visible. Yeah, I don't like this. So let's say when it's highlighted, I want it to have it red. When it's pressed, let's have this color, but oh, come on, let's have this color, but darker, something like that. And when it's selected, let's say this color, but let's go to a yellow. All right, so this is the selected state. Okay, let's copy this. Give me a second to make the same thing for the Doozy button. So when it's highlighted, let's set a custom color, same color. When it's pressed, I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna make it a dark blue. So let's say, actually we can change it like that. It's a bit easier. And when selected, I think a yellow was used. Yeah. I know they look awful, but I want to show that they work together. It's really, I want to do this for UI because it's, ugh. All right. So that's pretty much it. Let's enter play mode and let's see how this works. So we have two buttons, a native Unity button, the green one, and a Doozy UI button, a blue one. So as you can see, this is with a multiply. I see here. Can I also add this? No, leave it like that. All right, so basically it adds this color. They combine. Yeah, I really hate this implementation, but you get the idea. And we can also select them. Okay, I'm gonna copy this color. I forgot it's being added. I forgot that. And this looks awful. All right. Sorry about that. All right, so here you can see when it's highlighted, let's press it and it's now selected. Let's press it and it's now selected. Of course, I can also use, if you remember, we have a navigation. These lines show it. So basically, we can use the arrow keys to move from one or the other. So I can move like that. I can press enter. And this is how it works. Of course, I also have a Xbox controller here. It's enabled. So I can use this and change it. So I'm gonna and move it like so. So it also works like that. And that's pretty much it for the button. Yeah. Let me show you one more button inside the UI menu. So this is the, let's open the UI menu. I'm going to show you a flex button. Perfect. It's opened here. So this is the same as the UI button, and the native Unity button, but it's been set up so it auto adjusts as its size. I think I said a stupid thing, but if I change the text, my special button with long text, it resizes. If we swap the icon with the label, it goes perfectly to the other side. So you get the idea. It just knows how to do this. Let's enter play mode and let's check it out. And this also animates the icon. So as you can see, the heart goes a bit bigger. I'm gonna click it. Now it's in the selected state. Another thing that the UI button has, it's the preview of the state. So if I click it, notice that it's now highlighted right here. Yeah. So I'm going to press, this is pressed. I'm going to let go. It's going to go into selected. And now I'm going to click somewhere outside of the button area and it's now normal. You can also preview them here. And let's say I want this heart. I want it to rotate 180. Easy. I'm going to come here. I'm going to use the UI Selectable UI Animator. And I'm going to say rotate 180. Yeah, there you go. Of course, now it's like an ass, but that doesn't matter. It works. And I also noticed that this heart can change its color. So I'm going to say when it's highlighted, I would like it to be a red color, for example. So now when I'm going to hover my mouse, I can have a red color. Oh, I forgot that stupid rotation. All right. And let's say I also want my text to be like that. So I'm going to copy this setting for now. I'm going to exit play mode because I want to add, as you can see here, I want to add a color animation for my text. For example, you couldn't do this with the native Unity component unless you create an animation, and that's adds some overhead because it updates every frame. It's a performance issue. So I'm going to say UI Selectable color animator is going to connect automatically to the text, and it already has some states for it. So if we enter play mode, you will notice that the text also changes when it's highlighted, pressed, selected, and so on. Check it out. I don't know if you saw that, but let's say when it's pressed, I want it to be yellow, let's say. So I'm just going to put it like that. So check it out. Just so you can see that it respects what we're doing here. Let's say start value with these settings. And when it's highlighted, I would like it to use, I don't remember what I used as the icon color. Yeah, this one. just so it has the same color. It's pretty easy actually, and you can create all sorts of animations. I'm moving as fast as possible, and I'm showing you what you can do. So let's enter this, and there you go. So that's pretty much it. Now I've shown you pre-made buttons, pre-assembled ones. Let's create one from scratch, because this will clear up a lot of things. These are quite complex. They have a lot of settings that are pre-made, and yeah, I think we should try and make one ourselves with from nothing. So let's create an image, for example. Let's start with an image, and this will be our button. All right, and let's set a color, maybe an orange color. Yeah, something like that. Looks pretty good. And now I'm gonna add a UI button component, UI button. And now we have a button. That's it. You have a button. It will react. All the states will work. So let's enter play mode, and you will see that it works. But since we do not have any visual feedback, like a color change or an animation or something, well, look here at these states. So highlighted, pressed, selected, and I want to click somewhere outside, and now it's normal. And if we disable the interactable state, it's going to be disabled. Now let's also see these things, and now let's start with the color. So do you remember? This is a UI selectable. All of these are UI selectables. So every type of animation starts for the components starts with UI selectable. We will be adding more and more options, more and more components that cater to this. So yeah, just remember these are UI selectables. So I'll say UI selectable, and I'll say color animator. Right away, it's gonna connect to this. It's gonna capture the normal color and create highlighted, pressed, selected, and disabled states. And I'm gonna enter play mode. I didn't touch anything. All right. So now let me zoom in here so you can see the color change. All right. So highlighted, and notice here the state. So highlighted, pressed, selected, and of course, disabled state. All right. If I change the color, the system, let's exit play mode, the system will be smart enough to adjust. Check it out. So let's say I want a green button now. Let's go, yeah, maybe a teal one, something like that. Yeah, nicer. Again, you can see there are some slightly variations. Again, let's enter play mode. This is here to help you, by the way. If you want to change, we can even change some of those things. So as you can see, it works. Let's go back to that orange. I like that. All right. So how about we add some animation? Let's say when it's highlighted, I want it to be bigger, and when it's pressed, I want it to be a bit smaller. All right. So again, it's an animation for a UI selectable. So I have here UI selectable, UI animator. Let's just arrange things here. I don't care about the UI button for now, nor the image, nor the color. So now all I want to see is this animation. And I want to say when it's highlighted, what did I say? I wanted to have a scale. So let's make the scale 1.1. So let's add it. 1.1. This is the offset in 0.2 seconds. And let's go with an out back. And when it's pressed, I want to make it smaller. So it will be minus from the start value, of course. This is an offset. And let's make it easy. I really don't care. And for the selected, I want to reset the scale. So I'm just gonna enable it and not do anything. Actually, let's say an out back. Yeah, this should be nice. So I just created an animation and a color for the button. And check it out. Yeah. And that's how this thing works. I think I messed up the scale here. Yeah, there should be -1. It looked strange. Yeah, now it's better. And selected should be an outback in 0.4. I don't like something here, so pressed -1 -1, and here you'll be 1 1. Let's say outback. Yes, and pressed. I'm just messing with the values again. Outback. Yeah. So it's more satisfying. There you go. All right, let's copy the settings. We're gonna add a few more things. Let's say I want to have a number inside of this button, and I would like it to grow a bit when I and change its color when we have it highlighted, pressed, and selected. So again, you couldn't do this with the native component. You could, but you should have used an animator, and this would have been a tedious process. So let's move this in the center. Let's say auto size. Let's set the color. Let's copy this color basically, and let's go a bit darker. Right. So what did I say? I would like this to be a bit bigger when it's highlighted. So actually, let me show you pointer enter and pointer exit. This would be nice. So I'm going to use a UI animator this time because I just want to make it bigger. And I'm going to say scale. Let's say, let's add 20% in 0.4. And I'm going to say in outback. Perfect. And this animator does nothing right now. So if you enter play mode, you will see, oh, what did I do? You will see that it doesn't do really anything because it's not connected. Nothing triggers this animation. All right, so this works, but nothing triggers it. So let's go to the button. Remember when I told you that you can add behaviors? Well, pointer enter and exit. So when the pointer enters this buttons area, I would like to play this animation forward. All right. When the pointer exits the buttons area, I would like to play this animation in reverse. So basically back to the initial value. Again, I'm going to say play, and I'm going to click this toggle. This is in reverse. And that's it. And there you go. Let's make it a bit faster because I don't like that we have to wait. So let's say outback in 0.2. And you can see it's a, let's also rotate it for 5 degrees in 0.2 seconds. So yeah, I like this animation. I'm going to copy component, and here I'm going to say paste component values. Let's say I also want to add something inside the, I want to add a border, and we can also do that. So let's say image, this will be our border. And I'm going to create another image, and this will be our background. All right. So I'm going to copy this component, copy component to the background, paste component values. Where is it? I would like to have the color animator. Actually, I'm going to add it here. So say color, select UI selectable, color animator. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to remove this image from here. Actually, I need to remove the color animator, the image color target, the image. I'm just rearranging the button right now. And this border should be, where should, okay, let's say, make it as big as the button with a 4, 4, 4. And this is our border. This is our background. Yeah, something like that. And of course, let's put the text here. And let's make the border invisible at start. And let's also copy this color. Actually, let's just change the border color. So I'll say color animator. And I would like when displays, I would like to have a darker color. So let's add some, let's lower the darkness. There you go. And here in the button, pointer enter. And again, I'm going to say border, play animation, color animator play. It's really easy to connect them. And when the pointer exits, I would like again to play the border animation, and I'm going to say play but in reverse. All right, let's enter play mode and let's check it out. So as you can see, the border appears. I think it doesn't do the reverse color and I need to know why. Yeah, current value. Okay, start value. My bad. Okay. So that's pretty much it. That's how you can create different things. Let's say you want to see something when the pointer enters, you can just change it like that. And let's exit play mode. Let's say start value. All right. So now we can duplicate this. So I'm going to say this will be, let's move it here and the other one here. So this will be button 1, button 2, and button 3. And we can change the numbers. So this will be button number, where's the text, 2, and button number 3. And yeah, let's enter play mode. Let's test them out. And that's pretty much it. You can move the mouse like that. And you can also select them. Now I'm using the keyboard. So that's it for the UI button. If you want to add a behavior, you have some of them here. You can also connect to the press states and so on. It's really a versatile component, and yeah, I think it works pretty nicely. All right, thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, subscribe and give a thumbs up. And see you in the next video. Thank you very much.